Hey guys, how are you? Happy Monday. Carl and I here with you on Monday, Mindset Monday, if it will. We'll switch to gallery view so you can see us both. But yeah, so happy Monday. Carl's got a little friend with him, Blue. But we're happy to kick this Monday off and looking forward to getting you guys motivated and getting you guys moving. You know, nothing will change in your life if you don't take action. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help support your journey of being action takers. And before we get in today's session, which is all about conquering digital rapport and networking, you know, we had a fun little chat right before we came live, and we were talking about things both on my side and his side. And so I just wanted to start off with that. Carl, you can talk about your cute little companion, Blue.
Yeah, so happy Easter, guys. Happy Easter Monday. For those of you that are following the Confessions of a Dealmaker email sequence, and if you're not subscribed to that free newsletter, go to dealmakerwealthsociety.com and you can sign up right there from the website. You'll have seen a couple of videos in the past few weeks with my dogs, and this is Blue, one of my Dealmaker dogs. So Blue was the crazy Weimaraner that was weaving around and couldn't get the ball, the deal. And my little French bulldog, Ralph, always wins the ball because he's patient and he's focused and he has a clear plan of what he wants to achieve. So definitely sign up for those emails if you're not on there already. They're really useful nuggets and bits of training and bits of information that we want to share with you guys. So definitely sign up for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's about the picture just sitting over my left shoulder. It's a lion among sheep, and for me, this is a mindset thing, right? If you're doing everything that anyone else is, right? If you're happy with just following the herd, you'll never change your life, and you'll never stand out in a way that others would be envious of or desire, right? I think about it. If you're not someone who's going to take action, you will never be different. Lions are leaders. Lions are action takers. I want to be a lion. I don't want to be a sheep. I want to have the mentality and focus and execution of action that's going to drive people and drive myself forward. I want to work to change your lives by working with Carl and helping to teach you. And I want to work to change my life by doing deals, buying companies, and expanding my own wealth. So we're excited to have all of you guys here today on Monday. So looking forward to really just catching up with you guys. Not really a Q&A session, but if we see anything that we can plug in, happy to. Happy to see how you guys are doing. So happy Monday. So Carl, today is all about how can we conquer the digital rapport building and networking. We've talked about it a lot, whether it's the 3 killer questions asked sellers. That was last Monday, which I guess before we jump in, who talked to a seller, right? Let us know in the comments who talked to a seller, who jumped in and really let people know that they're in command of their destiny and they're talking to sellers and they're building relationships so that as we move through the uncertainty of today's day and age, we're able to launch you guys into your deal making future. So how many? Tell us, let us know.
Yeah, hit the chat, guys. Let us know. It's important that you take action every week and you do the little bits of things that we talked about. So last week we had the 3 killer questions that you should ask any seller. So you should have gone out and had those conversations and have been asking those questions. And then we're going to pivot in a minute to how you can really kind of ramp up that rapport building when you're on a digital call, such as Zoom like this, or Skype, or FaceTime, or any other technology that you're using.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really important in today's day and age, right? Like, forget just the uncertainty, right? We're global deal makers, and it's impossible for us to always be present physically when we're doing deals. We're constantly on the phone, we're constantly on Zoom, we're constantly finding ways to engage with people digitally. And it's not just a product of today. However, today gives us an opportunity and a great excuse for us to really focus in on how digitally connecting is important. So Carl, I don't know if you want to really jump into this and start talking about how can people truly conquer the building of rapport digitally, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so the reason we're talking about this today is, we set, there were a ton of people on the Facebook Live on last Monday, and then some people were asking these questions. On Friday, we do a YouTube Live. So on Friday, one of the questions that we were asked is, how can you build rapport when you're not physically in person? And I don't want that. I don't want this kind of lockdown to hold you back from making these calls and asking these questions. So we thought we'd do this little bit of micro training on building rapport digitally. So the first thing that you need to do, very simple, is you have to do this face to face. So don't do this on a call. Do this on Zoom, do this on Skype, do this on WhatsApp, do this on Facebook Messenger calling, FaceTime if you're on an iPhone, whatever it is. Make sure that you can still see each other, because I don't know if you know, but 87% of all communication between two people is non-verbal. So it's body language, it's reactions, it's the way you move your hands, it's the way you move your face when you talk. And when you're talking to a seller, you can get a lot of information just by studying them. When they actually talk to you, you can tell whether people are being kind of serious and they're giving you the right level of information. So it's really important to do it face to face. And then the first thing that you should do is, when you speak to a seller, the first question that you should ask them before you talk about their business, the industry, the deal, anything, first question you should ask them is this. Just ask them how they are. Ask them how they are and how are they coping through the lockdown scenario. So if you're doing deals in Canada, UK, Australia, United States, New Zealand, parts of Western Europe, we're all going to be in the same situation we are now. So just ask them how they are. It just shows that you care. And then the second thing that you should do, and it doesn't matter where they are, ask them, is there anything you can do to help them? Spend the first 5 minutes of the conversation asking them how they are and, can I help you? Is there anything I can do for you? And if you're talking to baby boomers, people that are maybe in their 60s or could be in their 70s, and they're not in their businesses right now, they're at home, and they might not be able to go out, they might be self-isolating, ask them, can you get them anything? Can you order them some groceries or anything like that? Order them some medication? And you might think that's crazy, because 99 times out of 100, they won't take you up on that. They'll just say, you know what, Carl, you know what, Adam, I'm absolutely fine. But thank you so much for checking in and making sure I'm okay. Because if you do those two things, take you 5 minutes tops, your rapport will massively spike in a very, very quick period of time. It will go like that. And then once you've got that instant rapport, it just becomes so much easier to have a really solid conversation with the seller about their business. And remembering the 3 questions that we told you to ask last week. Why are you selling the business? How does your business structured? Is there anyone that can run it? And then how does it grow? How do you win new business? If you can ask those 3 questions after that big rapport building spike, you're going to get so much detail about who they are and what they want. You can then take that information and further down the line, build it into an offer and build it into a negotiation for you to buy the business. So really, really important. And the fact that you're at home and they're at home should not stop you from making calls. It should be easier for you now to make calls, and it should be easier for the seller to have calls with you, because we've all got a little bit more time and we're all stuck. And we're looking for things to do to kind of keep our brains moving and keep the time flowing. So this is the time, guys. Don't let this period lapse. You've got to take action now. You've got to be sharpening your saw for deals, because then when we come out of this, and we will very, very soon, hopefully, you're going to be way ahead of the people that sat back and took no action.
Yeah, and taking action is critical. You mentioned everyone's at home right now. We're at home, just like you guys are. What's awesome about that is it's completely leveled the playing field. No one has any inherent advantage over one person or another. We're all on the same page. We're on the same level. We're all dealing with the same crisis in relatively the same way because we don't have options. And so when we really get down to it, you can be a standout to a seller. You can be a standout to someone as long as you're willing to invest in the relationship. As Carl said, your first 10 minutes aren't saying, hey, you're selling your business, tell me all about your business. You're really working to build a relationship. You know, I've made the comparison to dating before, right? This is the life cycle of going from being introduced to people all the way through marriage, right? If we think about it, when you start originally working on your network, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, right? Your bankers, your attorneys, your CPAs, your wealth managers, these four groups of people, you're building your network. When you're dating, whether it's going out to the bars or the pubs, or you're meeting friends of friends through introductions and things like that, what are you doing? You're building a network, and that's ultimately, ideally, bringing you a match. And for us, a match is an opportunity to potentially meet a seller, build a relationship with a seller, just like you would in a dating environment where you're building a relationship and rapport. You don't ask someone to marry you on the very first time you meet them. Well, maybe outside of Vegas you don't, but the idea is that you don't do it on the first time you meet them. You're building a relationship, so a foundation of trust and experience in life. And the point is you're not going to just jump into owning that business overnight, just like you won't jump into marriage overnight. You know, what we all want to do is we all want to put together deals where it is consummated with us actually buying the business and owning the business as owner investors. But until you get there, it's still all relationship, because you're going to hit snags, right? Accountants and attorneys who come in as advisors to a seller, they're there to justify their fees, and they're going to cause a few snags along the way. If you've got a solid bedrock of relationship, you're not going to struggle through that. So bringing it back to now, right? We're in the digital age, if you will. We're all compelled to be remote. So as a result, we're doing this via Zoom, and we're on Facebook Live. There's no reason why you can't use Skype, Zoom, Citrix. There's all sorts of different plugins and apps where you can FaceTime. If you've got a phone, you can FaceTime them if they've got to, right? So at the end of the day, you have technological options that can allow you to build a relationship. We're not just a voice on a screen. We're 3D in that you can see me and you can see Carl and you can hear us and feel us. You hear our emotions, see the inflection, our body language, and all that. It's no different with a seller. I want to talk to you, right? On Friday evening, I had a quasi happy hour with a broker and a partner of ours in our private equity group. Like, the three of us are talking about a potential deal while we're all sharing a beer, via Zoom, right? We're talking we're talking about an opportunity. It happens to be one that's less than 30 minutes from where I live. So instead of me meeting that broker and having a beer with them at a bar near where I live, we're doing it remotely, and we're building a relationship. This is a broker who requires all prospective buyers to submit full financial statements. Well, listen, we're not doing that. We're going to find a way to get around that because we're building a relationship. So there's always something you can do to get yourself from step A to step B in the deal making process. If you slow down and remember, it's just a conversation. It's all able to be done remotely. Build out. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Adam's really kind of hit the nail on the head. You know, this is a relationship business. The stronger the relationship that you build, the easier it is to do a deal. Let me just tell you a little story. So about 18 months ago, I was looking at a business. It was sent to me by a business broker. It had been listed for about a year. It was an engineering company in the UK. And I got the information, and the seller got my name and my number actually from the broker, and he just called me out of the blue. And normally, you know, I like to have my first meeting face to face or at least on Skype. So he called me out of the blue, and I literally just had a 5-minute conversation with him to say hello. And one of the things he talked to me about was he was a huge soccer fan, this guy, or football if you're in the UK. And he was from Liverpool, and his team was Everton, which is the blue team in Liverpool. And he just had a granddaughter. His daughter had just given birth to a little girl. It was his first granddaughter. But the husband, is kind of son-in-law, the dad, supported the rival team, Liverpool, which is the red team. So he'd put the baby in the red strip, when he brought the baby around to meet the grandfather for the first time. And he was really upset because he was passionate Everton, which is blue, and he's holding his little grandbaby in Liverpool red. And he told me that story. And I was agreed to meet him like 2 or 3 days later to go and look around the business. So as soon as I put the phone down, I thought, what can I do to really quickly build a phenomenal relationship with this guy? So I called my assistant and I said, hey, Selena, can you go and order me a baby soccer kit for Everton in blue and get it shipped to my house as quickly as possible? So she did. Cost less than £20, so less than $30. And then when I went to see him, I took it in and I gave it to him and I said, look, I want you to have this. I felt really bad from your story the other day. I want you, whenever your little granddaughter comes around to your house in her red kit, you can quickly take it off and put the blue kit on. And he was literally, the guy gave me a hug. First time I'd ever met him. And we had this unbelievable friendship from that very first moment in time. I actually didn't end up buying his business because there was some pretty nasty environmental stuff that came up in due diligence. So I didn't buy the business in the end. But I could have done, just from that unbelievable way of building a relationship. Yeah, it cost me less than $30. But, you know, and I'm not saying we all go out and buy little baby soccer kits for everybody. But when you have a conversation with a seller, just latch on to something. Latch onto something that that you can talk about. So, for example, if I was trying to buy Adam's business, as you know, he bought my business, but let's say I was trying to buy Adam's business and we're on one of these virtual Zoom calls, and I've noticed that beautiful piece of art behind him. Art is a massive passion of mine. My house in England, you've been in my house, Adam, you've seen all the art in my house. I'm really passionate about art. So I'd be having a conversation with Adam about the picture and the art. And Adam loves dogs. When he came to my house, one of my dogs completely fell in love with him. And then if Adam was having a conversation with me and he saw Boy behind my shoulder, knowing how much he loves dogs, he would start building rapport with me by talking about the dog and his love for dogs and maybe a dog he's got. And it's finding those connections. Again, businesses are bought and sold. Deals are done between human beings. Two people normally, you as the buyer, the other person as the seller. So find out what jives them. Is it soccer teams? Is it wine? Is it travel? Is it animals? Is it kids? Is it gardens? You know, whatever it is, ask them all these questions. Better still, look them up on Facebook or on LinkedIn or Instagram, wherever. And you're not, you know, it's not being like weird. Just find out little bits of pieces around them. Before you speak to a seller, Google his or her name, Google his or her name of business. They might have won an award or something that's out there on the internet. So when you speak to them, you can congratulate them about it. Say, hey, I noticed you won that fantastic award. That's phenomenal. You know, well done. Or, you know, if they've checked in a restaurant that you like, or they've been on a vacation that you've been on as well, talk about it. Build the relationship, build and stack that rapport. And then once it's at that really good level and you can do it very, very quickly, then you can start to ask them questions about the business. They open up. And then when someone's open and they start to have that conversation with you, if you listen, you'll pick up loads of clues about what they actually want out of the deal. It's really important.
Yeah. And some of it comes back to, again, it's all the fundamentals of relationship and things like that. But I think people are struggling to get their heads around how you can do the same thing, but from a remote conversation, whether it's a Zoom call or phone call or what have you. And it doesn't matter. The relationships are still relationships at the end of the day, right? Carl mentioned, oh, he could have seen art behind my shoulder and it would have spawned a discussion of what is that and what does it mean and et cetera, et cetera. And immediately I'm not talking in that at guard with what Carl's trying to do and buy my business. It's understanding what does he care about and what does he want and what's he interested in. And for you, it's the same way when you're talking to sellers or you're talking to your network, right? How are you building relationships and you're offering more of yourself than you are looking to take, right? So we call it a position of abundance versus scarcity. And there's a lot of things out there that talk about this mindset. And if you're consistently helping and working for the benefit of others without expecting or asking something in return, you're approaching life from a position of abundance. And in this world, it's a really powerful place to be, because people will turn around and give back in many more scaled returns. And it might not happen immediately or in the same kind of function or factor. And I'm not talking about you just writing people checks. I'm talking giving of yourself, your time, your energy, your thoughts, your experience, and things like that. It will always come full circle. Hey, what are you guys struggling with right now? How can I help you? Oh, you have kids. How are you guys handling the daycare thing? Say you've got children and you're geographically approximate. You can share strategies you've learned to manage children while at home and still trying to work or whatever. There's ways to build relationship that have nothing to do with the ultimate purpose, which is trying to buy a business, but doing it in a way that's going to just absolutely build an incredible level of rapport.
One of the things that I've done, Adam, which is really cool, is, over the past couple of weeks, there's been loads of links and sources put out there for all the kind of benefits that business owners and people can claim for like payroll protection and all those different things. And what I've noticed is about 90% of the business owners, both in the UK and the US, they're kind of a little bit confused by it all, and they kind of don't know how to do it. So I've just created this little simple Google sheet with like all the kind of key links in it. It took me like 30 minutes to put it together. So one of the things that I do whenever I talk to the seller is to just say, hey, have you aware about all these benefits you can claim? And they still will kind of, yeah, but I wrote the link down, I can't find it, and I Googled it, and I don't know what to do. And I'll say, great, I've put a little document together. It's got all the things you need to do in order. Just click on the links, enter your details, and you'll be able to kind of make the claim. So I'm sending them things like that. Again, I'm trying to add value to them. I'm trying to add value to their life. I'm trying to add value to their business to build massive rapport. So then when I buy their business, I'm best placed to take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, it always comes down to that, right, Carl? Is like you're in a position to just maximize the different elements, right? So at the end of the day, guys, like we're talking about conquering digital rapport, but it's just frankly a buzzword for the situation we're in right now, where we're all on the same level playing field. I mean, whether you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn, Facebook, any other kind of social network, calling them directly, still using the direct approach that Carl teaches in Dealmaker CEO, still using phone calls and Zoom and things like that to build relationships. At the end of the day, it still is building relationships. And that's, I think, the key thing that Carl and I want to get out of today, this Mindset Monday, is that conquering the digital rapport and networking sphere is no different than you would have a month ago or 2 months ago. You're just using a couple of different tools, again, whether it's social platforms or professional platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook, or using tools like Zoom or Skype or things like that. At the end of the day, it's all the same thing. You're still working to build a relationship. And I think that's what we're really trying to hammer home is, again, last week, we talked about the 3 killer questions to ask any seller, but this preempts any of those questions. You got to really build a relationship. So I think that pretty much covers it for today. Guys, thanks so much for joining. I just want to make sure, if you haven't started your journey and if you haven't really gotten to the point where you're taking control of your deal making path, we've got the business buying blueprint, which we'll just pop in the chat. Feel free to sign up for it. There's no charge or anything. We just want to give you that free guide and resource. And then likewise, if you could like, share, comment on the video, we love it because it gives us an opportunity to interact with you. And the more people who are able to watch, the better. So if you could like and share, that would be amazing. And if you're not following us on Facebook, which I believe you are because you're here, but if you're not following us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or any of the other accounts we have, go ahead and do it. We've got a YouTube account where we're doing, Friday events. This Friday, by the way, I got to tease it real quick. We're doing a live red light, green light call. So part of our Dealmaker Academy, which is our group coaching program, Carl and I and our coaches, depending on who's on the call, we sit down and we'll actually thumbs up, thumbs down, review live deals. Well, this Friday, you're going to get a sneak peek. This is amazing. Our our lead coach, John McElroy, Carl and I, we're not going to have seen this deal, but John's going to present it, and you're going to watch us analyze it live. Then afterwards, we'll have some Q&A around what we've just done and any other questions you guys have. Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. GMT. You should be there. This is your just first time we've ever done a live deal review for people outside of Dealmaker Academy. So this is a top-notch opportunity. You got to subscribe to YouTube to get notifications. So go to YouTube, look up Dealmaker Wealth Society. It's going to be huge, and we really want you guys there. So get on over and absolutely check us out. That'll be Friday. That's going to be really cool. And then again, if you're not following us on LinkedIn, we're posting different content there. Same with Instagram. All of it's Dealmaker Wealth Society in some form or fashion. But we want you guys there. Like, share, and expand, because we're touching everything everywhere on any given week's basis. So anything to add, Carl?
No, just looking forward to Friday. Is going to be awesome because there's kind of three things that we're going to show you. Number one is how Adam and I basically appraise a deal very, very quickly. What do we look for and why? Secondly, you'll see how we basically break the deal apart and put it back together in terms of how we would structure the deal. So it's like you're looking over our shoulder as we're closing deals. And the third thing that we do is we kind of point out what the unknowns are, what the variables are, and then what you would drill in to your next seller conversation. So this Friday arguably is going to be the most valuable training session you will ever see from myself and Adam. So I strongly advise you to go over to YouTube right now, subscribe to the Dealmaker Wealth Society channel, and we're going live 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. UK on Friday. So we will see you guys there.
And be sure, bring your friends, tell your family, anyone you know who might want to be a deal maker. Come on, let us show you how we analyze deals. I mean, this is on the spot. How do we look through a company in a few bits and pieces? We're going to have just a brief summary of things, and we'll be able to show you our mind process and our thought process as we break down deals. I mean, this is something we've both done literally hundreds and hundreds of times, and it's going to give you an opportunity to witness how we do it and give you some insights into how we think. And you're going to take away so many things, right? You're going to be able to see exactly how you can apply some of the same lessons in your own approach. What are the questions we go, I need to know more about that, or I need to look into that. You're going to see how you should analyze and look at similar stuff. So we're really looking forward to it. Again, subscribe on YouTube. It's 4 p.m. on Friday. But again, like and share this video and tell everyone to show up on Friday. It'll be on YouTube live. Again, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. GMT. Really looking forward to it.
Great.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you Friday. Until then, remember, you're only one deal away from changing your life and creating a level of wealth that you can't even imagine. And we're excited to serve you. And so thanks again, guys. We'll see you.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.